we're bringing the band back together, talking about some sweet lies and bowling with our cousin. Would you kindly watch this episode of I Love Last Gen?
When the first Modern Warfare came out, what that game did was marry fantastic multiplayer with a single-player narrative that transcended most of the first-person shooters that went before it.
Yeah, Modern Warfare.
I remember this beginning where you're in the perspective of the guy who gets shot, and I was like, whoa, this is heavy.
I had to have it, and I had to play it for hours and hours and hours, and I never really got better at it.
This nerd didn't play it.
Oh, I don't play shooting games. I don't like guns.
I think there's a really good argument to be made that Modern Warfare, that first Modern Warfare, remains the absolute pinnacle for the series.
The shooting mechanics and the ballistics were top-notch. The experience points.
It's a role-playing game shooter. They've done it. I don't know why no one has done it before now, but they did it.
The XP that was added to that game splintered through all of the following first-person shooters afterward.
Those early campaigns were just so bombastic. Like, it was just like watching every giant action movie just at once.
Like that opening level when you're in that tanker and you're just trying to escape, you know, to prevent yourself from drowning. Like, that is one of the most memorable moments of the generation, in my opinion.
And that stuff is really, really powerful and addictive.
I don't want to say addicting, because addicting's not a very positive word, but I have to play Call of Duty every year.
I think the most important thing that game did was revolutionize multiplayer.
And that became the package definer. That became, hey, if you're gonna make a shooter, this is what it looks like.
As soon as I got on, I must have died, I think it was probably 11 times, 12 times in a row, where I'd run out and be like...
Was there an achievement for that?
This generation was all about being on your headset, sitting on your couch, late at night, playing with all your buddies over Xbox Live.
Really smart, radical design decisions that everybody's copying now.
I bought Rock Band, and I didn't have an Xbox 360 to play, so I had to borrow one from my friend to play Rock Band.
Rock Band allowed you to fulfill the fantasy of being in a band.
Harmonix makes my favorite games that I'm the worst at.
Rock Band came in, of course, and really grabbed everybody's attention because it added everything else you wanted to do.
I was obsessed with Rock Band. Little known fact, I was in a Rock Band reality show on VH1 called Rock Band to the Stars because I was such a good Rock Band player. Hopefully you can find a clip to show people.
Because you put that plastic instrument in your hand, and suddenly you could jam out.
Me and my roommates got real serious about the RP of Rock Band. But when you're in a campaign and you have a bad friend, a person needs to go. Really effed up our roommate dynamics.
That's what we're gonna do on a Friday night, is get drunk and play Rock Band.
People would be sitting there at a party and being like, I call guitar, I call drums next.
I think we've all decided that drums is the best, right?
I love
Singing
the
is
drums.
fun.
That's my favorite.
That's like fun because like you're like in the front, and you're whatever, but drumming.
I'm a bit of a guitar man myself.
There you go.
You've never felt cooler in your life than being up there and being like, I'm just gonna rock out with my little plastic guitar.
Just another great experience to get your friends together, you know, have a couple of adult beverages.
When I'm on guitar, the song is mangled. But if I'm on vocals, I will tear it up. I will pour beer on myself as I fall to my knees. I really give a full performance.
But they oversaturated the market. They killed the market.
It's sad that all of us can get together and make a giant consumer decision, and we're just done with those kinds of games.
And to this day, I really love it, and I really hope that Harmonix brings it back.
Rock Band was an amazing thing that they just murdered with mainstreamedness. That's a word.
Red Ring, man, that was such a panic.
It's not just an internet legend. It really was a really big problem for Microsoft early on.
I went through 5 Xbox 360s this generation.
I've had 2 Xboxes Red Ring on me.
I was a victim of Red Ring of Death probably 6 times.
Fallout 3 red ringed my console spectacularly.
I think one of the funniest things were some of the home remedies that came up to fix it.
Just wrap it in towels, wrap it in a bunch of towels, let it get really hot, and then later when the fire department was leaving, you were like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
I always would put towels in the freezer and then wrap so they'd be nice and cold. And then I would wrap the Xbox in that and then It didn't fix my Xbox, but eventually I got a warm towel.
Take 2 like terry cloth towels, duct tape them around the machine, and then with a Sharpie you black out the red ring and you can't even see it.
That's a good idea.
If you like cracked open your Xbox and then like you could literally cement pennies to like a heat sink and it wouldn't red ring, is there any validity to that?
If you smear a Coleco cartridge with blood and bury it under a tree, it does help your Xbox come back.
It was weird to me how much people accepted the red ring. Everyone said, oh, well, red ring, not a big deal. I'll just send it back to Microsoft.
But hey, things break.
I'm back. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
Before we say anything, the cake is a lie.
Are you recording? You got that right? Okay.
I think Portal kind of combines the two things that everyone really wants in games, and that's doing something new, which was the Portal technology, and a surprising story.
The idea of a game that inverted the first-person shooter was just so exciting.
Portal completely blew apart my perception of how to score a game.
They nailed not only the game mechanics, but like you said, the sense of humor. That was the one thing that got you into the game immediately. It was funny.
And it was just like such a great small little experience. It's almost perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on. Hello. That's you. That's how dumb you sound.
I have this irrational fear of like autonomous, sentient, mean robots. So like GLaDOS made me cry. I'm gonna be honest, GLaDOS and her crazy, creepy loneliness made me cry.
GLaDOS is the most amazing, passive-aggressive game villain I've ever encountered.
Who's gonna make the cake when I'm gone? You.
I love how her attitude like keeps bouncing back and forth. So she's really mad right off the bat.
Oh my God, she just called me fat.
And then she's really sweet to you, and then it's like, no, there'll be cake and you'll have to do this. And then she gets really mad again.
You're doing very well.
Is there dessert or not? Can someone tell me?
We get it. You played Portal. The cake is a lie. 4 million other people get the joke.
And the song at the end, like, I would drive around in my car listening to that song.
You're sitting at a pitch meeting, you're like, so we've got this kind of serious game, and there's not a lot of story, there's not a lot of dialogue to it, but let's end it with a wacky song.
I love that game. I gotta play that again.
Aperture Science.
Everybody likes to hate on GTA 4. It's so easy now. Everybody can look back so many years later and be like, GTA 4 was okay. GTA 4 was amazing.
GTA 4 seemed serious. GTA 4 seemed like it was really taking itself seriously, except that like Hillary Clinton is the Statue of Liberty. Like, all right guys, that's not satire at that point, you're just being weird.
Rockstar did something different with GTA 4. They stepped outside of that caricature world and went for something with Nico Bellic that was trying to hit a little harder.
Nico Bellic.
I love any character who struggles so much with whether or not to be good or be bad, but will also randomly just run over every pedestrian.
I think GTA 4, I'm gonna say a controversial statement here, is a great game.
With Grand Theft Auto 4, Rockstar really wanted to make the series grow up a little bit.
I didn't like GTA 4. I think I got 12% in, and there was a mission where I had to follow someone in my car, and I like kept hitting people, and they got in my way. There's crosswalks in that game, you guys.
My big memories of GTA 4 is they really wanted me to fist fight a bunch of dudes, and I think there was a lady singing in Russian about pigs.
All I can remember at all from my brain right now is someone saying big American titties over and over again.
This is the American dream.
I think my favorite part about GTA 4 was the DLC for it. So the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and Damned were some of the best DLC this generation.
It was the first game to have an expansion pack with full frontal male nudity that I ever remember seeing in a video game. It was in Lost and the Damned, and I just remember being like, is that it? Oh, it is, yes, that is a wiener.
I bought a PlayStation 3 for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Metal Gear Solid 4 was the game that single-handedly got me to buy a PS3.
That was all I lived for like the week that it took me to beat it.
It had the crazy over the top. It had the beautiful presentation.
If you were a Metal Gear fan, that was the ultimate payoff. You had bed sores by the time that those cutscenes were over.
It was 4 hours of gameplay and 5 hours of incomprehensible cutscenes.
Watched about 25 minutes of a cutscene and been like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
People are rambling about the lale lula lo, or whatever.
In any other game, a 90-minute cutscene would be an absolute turnoff, but that was the one game that I think could absolutely pull that off.
And then you would play it through the second time, skipping the cutscenes, and realize, oh, this is very short.
45 minutes of cutscene every 10 minutes of gameplay.
I must get to the reactor. I'm going to get... How long do I have to press triangle to get to this reactor?
It may have been disappointing in some ways, but while you were actually going through the experience, there wasn't really anything else like it.
It's so unique. It's so like only of Metal Gear Solid 4 that there's a lot of things you let go because it's like, well, you don't get this anywhere else.
For $60, you got so many hours of entertainment if you are entertained by that.
That's true, good point, yeah.
Which we weren't.
It's brilliant. BioShock is so, I mean, it's not only outside the box, it's got a new box.
It's weird, none of us like the first BioShock.
Just one of my top 10 favorite games of all time.
I hate that game.
It's just so creepy and so eerie, and I mean, I can't look at a bunny mask ever again.
That watery image of Rapture, and it's not something we'd ever seen before like that.
Was it a ghost, I think, with the baby carriage the first time you come across it, and then it's gone?
It was super dark and really, really scary to play, but really approachable at the same time for people who maybe weren't super skilled in the shooter genre.
With its underwater city, beautiful design, a great attention to detail and writing, it let me actually live out my fantasies of kidnapping small girls.
It guilts you into this thing where just like, oh, you followed everything I said because I said, would you kindly at the end.
The would you kindly twist in BioShock, don't get mad at me if you haven't played it, I'm not saying anything else. That was a really, really great meta comment on games.
It's another word for mindfuck that I can use.
Would you kindly is actually a prompt that is hardwired into you, that forces you to do anything, including killing your creator.
I did all those things because this is a video game and you gave me nothing else to do.
The twist at the end, I thought that was really fun.
It really made us re-examine the nature of gaming and the process of gaming.
Greatest video game weapon of all time, bees.
Next time on I Love Last Gen.
Okay humor, okay writing, okay shooting.
This is probably the darkest time of the console generation.
Okay, so maybe I play some mobile games.
Everyone from 5 to 90 loves that game.
Skittles!